Yo, what's good, East Bear in the building? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Kueen Talk. Today's special guest is a well-known male illusionist, aka drag king, known as Iroxdapanties, Avery Holland.
What up? How y'all doing today?
Thank you for joining me today. I know you're a busy man. You're just...
Somewhat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Few jobs, male illusionist all over the place.
A few jobs, yeah.
If you want to just give a short introduction to the audience about yourself.
Yeah, so my name is Avery Holland. I'm a drag king. I perform down in XY if you guys are in Wichita. Yeah, I'm a tourist. I like to have fun. Long naps in the afternoon, short walks to the refrigerator. You know, that's just me.
How do you identify in the community?
A few different ways, actually. So, to the majority of people, I'm he, him, his. Those are my pronouns. But to a few individuals, it's Daddy, may I have another?
Daddy, may I have another?
Yep.
Who are those few? That...
I can't kiss and tell. I can't kiss and tell.
Oh my gosh. Okay, and are you? You said you're a bisexual, right?
Yeah. I consider myself bisexual because I will date women and trans men.
Okay.
Cisgendered men are out of the question.
Oh,
no,
okay.
thank you.
Okay. So there's a preference.
There's a preference.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So you said. Oh my gosh, there's just so much. You're not from originally from Wichita either, right?
Nah.
You're from.
Originally, I'm from California. I was born in Compton, then raised in the Valley. Then moved to a little town called Lancaster, and then to Arizona, and here.
When did you arrive in Kansas?
2015.
Okay, so you ain't not even 10 years yet.
No, not yet. Almost.
Yeah.
Almost, but not yet.
What brought you to Kansas?
I met a girl.
A long pause, so I assume we're not with that girl that you came to Kansas for.
No, we are not.
Okay.
So I met her at a school that I used to work in as a security guard in Casa Grande, Arizona. And I thought she was cool and all. Didn't realize that it was going to change very quickly.
Okay.
Yeah. So we moved out here, and I looked at it as a way to get my son out of Arizona where we were, because he was starting to go down the wrong path, and I couldn't bear to see my kid do that. So I was just like, let's just see where this takes us. Well, it took us here, and we're not together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you just stayed
I met people.
Okay.
I met some of the community that's out here is pretty dope. So I just stayed for them, not so much for Wichita itself or Kansas itself, but I stayed because I actually found a community, like a family.
Nice.
A good support system. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So you have a son. You have a son
who
is 23 now, right?
Yep, he'll be 24 in December.
And so there's so much, and I'm trying to
Unpack.
where should it start? So
when I was born, no.
So you got here with your son. How old was your son when you moved here?
He was 15.
Okay, and how did you have your son when you were 15?
Well, I was actually 13.
13. Okay.
And I pushed his big ass out.
Okay, so
9 pounds 7 ounces, 22 inches long. He was big as shit.
13 years old.
Yeah.
What? You're okay. See, after I looked it up, I was doing the math, and I was like, the math is
it's not math. Yeah.
Yeah, you were so young.
Yeah. It was a one-time thing.
That was your first time having sex with a man, and you got pregnant.
Yep. I was that statistic.
Dang.
Yep. And after that
changed your life forever.
Literally. Yeah. And we grew up together, so he's literally my best friend.
Yeah.
I'm still his dad. Yeah. I'll still put my foot in his ass.
Yeah.
But, he's my best friend, so.
Is the other father in the life? Or?
He is absentee, let's just say them. But I never once told my son, your dad's a piece of shit. I never, tried to play that part and be like, your dad don't care about you or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I wanted my son to see the relationship difference. I wanted him to experience that on his own without the influence of me telling him that. Because I always felt like when parents go and they tell their kids, like, your other parent is like crap, or he don't want you, or, you know, he don't want to see you, then that's putting a stigma in their mind.
Right,
but when they grow up seeing that on their own, then it's different. So my son saw that the entire time. So he was like, yeah, no, I understand why you didn't tell me, but sometimes I wish you had. And I'm like, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do it to you.
So you moved here and they don't, like, so the other father is just like not in the picture at all?
Well, he, like, now that Xavier's an adult, he tried to, like, re-father him, if that makes sense. Like, he tried to be, like, a authority figure while my son was grown. Mm-hmm. And my son was like, look, you weren't there for me as a child, so don't think that I'm going to, you know, come to you for advice or any kind of life, anything, because you have no clue what my life is like.
Yeah.
Like, you weren't there. Mm-hmm. You chose your other kids over me, so I'm just going to choose me. But if you want to have a relationship, here are the boundaries. So he set those boundaries for him, so which is good, and I'm okay with it.
The relationship, what is your relationship like with the father of your child?
I don't talk to him.
Okay.
Yeah, I talked to I believe she's his now wife. I don't even remember if they got married. But I talked to her more than I ever talked to him. And she's pretty cool. She's understanding, like, she knows the relationship aspect between him and Xavier, and she knows the aspect of him and his other kids that he don't talk to. So Xavier's the oldest of 6.
Okay.
He's my only one, but he's the oldest of 6, so he's the big brother, and he's like, he feels like he's been more of a father to them by like relationship wise than to his dad has been. So
okay, so what was that like when you told? So did you have a relationship at all with?
Nope. It was literally just a one time wham bam. Thank you, ma'am. I don't like this. Oh shit! Now I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
It was that's what that's like. Okay, never again. Oh fuck.
Were you told about like
So my mom, and I tell people this all the time because nobody ever believes me. My mom's idea of telling me not to get pregnant as a young kid was making me watch Maury and Jerry Springer with her. Literally. That was my sex education. That was it.
Oh my. It was so as long as you know who the father is, then you're good?
Yeah. It was like look at this girl on here. She 14 and she got a baby. That ain't gonna be you. That was it. That's it. Little did she know I was already I was 5 months pregnant on my 13th birthday.
Well, you didn't need to go on Maury because you knew who the father was.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It was just him. There was literally nothing else. Like no one else. There was no denying him. Yeah. And that all.
So I assume that with your son, like you gave him like a well-educated.
Oh yeah.
Like what it is. And
yeah, and I told him from the beginning that like I like girls, and I don't like boys. I'm never gonna try to replace your dad. But that didn't work because I kind of replaced his dad.
What? So you did? So you came out and told him that you were a lesbian. What age were you, and what age was he?
So I guess I figured out that I was into girls like literally shortly after, and
so like, you were still like 13, 14.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't really want to have sex with guys. It's just not for me. It's just no, thank you. Exit only. Yeah. Like, so I'm like, he's like, okay, so 2000 and I want to say 4 or 5, maybe a little bit after that. He just kept asking like, do you have a guy friend? Do you have a guy friend? Because like that was what the kids like. They wanted to have boyfriend and girlfriends. Like you're in first grade and you're just like, you have a guy friend, you know, kind of thing. And he was asking me, and I was like, no, but maybe one day I'll have a girlfriend. And he was like, oh, okay. And he was just completely understanding.
Okay, so that was the first time that you expressed to your child.
Yeah.
He was in first grade.
Yeah.
And then, so obviously, a lot has transpired since.
A very lot.
And so, how was that like with your family? I mean, like, how was it like when you told your family that you were pregnant?
So
like,
that conversation didn't really actually happen. It was more so like I had my period twice, and then I didn't have my period, and then I was eating everything, and my mom was like, "Oh shit!" So she took me to the doctor, and yeah, I was pregnant. And my mom was like, "If I had found out earlier, I would have made you get an abortion." And I was like, first off, my choice. Second off, no. Because this literally could be the only time I ever have kids because I don't like men. Like but my thought process back then was my choice. No.
Yeah. So you said your thought process was my choice. Did you think in that moment, like at 13, you're like, like you just said, I may not want kids again? Like, were you thinking
So I didn't at that point in time, I didn't know if I was going to have kids or if I wanted to have more kids. And then Xavier came. So once Xavier came, I was just like, okay, I could do this, but I don't know if I can do it again. So I didn't, at that time, I wasn't sure if I ever wanted more. So, and turns out, no.
No more kids are in the future.
No, I don't want to start over. That's like changing diapers.
Now he's already 23, so it's so when you told your family that you were a part of the community, was it what was that like for you?
So my mom found a note that an ex-girlfriend had wrote me, and because my mom was nosy, she still is, but she's nosy on like when I was younger, trying to go through to like find out about me, basically, like I guess understand me or figure out like who I am, because we didn't really have a good relationship. So she found a note from my ex-girlfriend, I guess in one of my pairs of jeans or something, and she was like, "Oh, so you think you like girls?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then she was like, "So what does that mean?" I was like, "I like them." Like, I want to kiss them. And that was like the basis of that conversation. And we didn't talk about it much until I was like 16. So.
And did you continue to have girls? So you had girlfriends right after you had Xavier then?
Yeah.
And then
joined the basketball team. It was like lesbian like paradise. There were so many. Like I went through college and stuff, and it was like lesbian paradise for me because I was like skinny. I was good looking, back then. I was fast on my feet, and I used to talk them into like getting in bed literally within like 5 minutes. Like it was straight paradise. I wish I could go back and start all over.
Oh my gosh. So were you more masculine like growing up all the time? Like even before Xavier, do you feel like you were that way?
Yeah. So I feel like now that I've now that I've transitioned, when I look back on who I was before, I was like, how did we not know? Yeah. Like literal, how did we not know? For the longest time I wouldn't wear dresses. I didn't like prissy things, girly things. In order to appease my mom though, I would wear like one dress every once in a while just to make her, not question. But I was like always the boy. Like I wanted to go out and play. Like when we played Power Rangers as a kid, I was always the Black Ranger because he was the dopest. Like I didn't like the Red Ranger. I was always the Black Ranger, even though he had 4 fingers on one hand. I didn't care.
I never noticed that. That's funny.
Yeah. I was like always that one. Like I'm the dad in this relationship when we played house. Like you're my wife. Like I am the father. But it never dawned on me back then until I started getting older and was like, well, I can't really not have these feelings. Like, and then when my son was born, like I knew back then, like I was a boy. And my mom used to take us shopping. Like we had step siblings, and there was 2 of them. And my stepsister, she ended up she's a lesbian too, but she's more masculine as well. But they would buy her boy clothes. I would get the fucking pink prissy shit, and I'm like, this is not me. I am not a little girl. Like, even for prom, I wanted to wear a tux, and my mom wouldn't let me wear a tux, and she made me wear a dress. So now there's a prom picture of me in a black dress like this.
I got one of those embarrassing pictures too. Yeah. I got a few of those too. I'm just like, yeah, I'm not into that either.
I'm not. Yeah. Like, I never was. Like, the only girly thing about me, I guess you could say, was that I had a kid. But now that I'm, like, old enough to know, like, gender identity, like, men can have babies too, you know?
Yeah. I want to talk about that because that's, like, a big thing. Like, in one of your statements, you said you used to be a mother, now I'm a father. Yeah. That's a big thing for someone to, like, grasp and understand. Mm-hmm. And can you please, like, speak on that, just like a little bit of your meaning of that? Because I feel like it gets confused with people. Yeah. So if you can explain it.
I feel like a lot of people put gender identity on, like, a low pedestal, that your gender identity has to be what they think it is. Mm. So when you tell someone, like, hey, I used to be a mother, but now I'm a father, like, they're like, what? No, you're always going to be the mother. No, I'm not. Mm-hmm. I may have birthed him and was a mother for a short time, but when I finally realized who I was, I fathered him. Mm-hmm. Like, I taught him what it is to be a good human, not just a good man. Mm. Because being a good human should come before being a good man. Because to me, being a man is a social construct. Like, you could be more masculine presenting female and still act more of a man than some men. Mm-hmm. So by society's standards, being a man means you just have a penis. But I've seen more women act more manly than the men and, you know, being good humans. So for me, when I became his father, I felt like I was not so much killing his mother off, but he was gaining a father because his other dad wasn't there because he was him. But I felt like it's kind of hard to explain. I felt like giving him an opportunity to have a father, because I was no longer his mother, mm-hmm. if that makes sense. Like,
and how was that conversation with your son? Like, when you wanted to transition, when you knew, like, what was that conversation like with him?
So it literally with him was like, hey son, I got something to tell you. So I'm thinking about transitioning because I never felt like I was a girl, and I always felt more masculine, more manly, and to me, being a girl is not a good thing. And he was like, okay.
And how old was he? 'Cause
20.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, so he was like older.
December 3rd, so he was 20th. Just about to be 20. His birthday is December 20th.
So he was older when you had that conversation. Yeah. With him. Before that, did you, like, have mannerisms, or, like, were you doing things differently?
I was a whole boy.
Okay.
I was a whole boy. Like, I can't say stud, because I literally was trying to be more me. Mm-hmm. So I was a whole boy, a little boy growing up. So the stud era only came when, because people knew I was a girl back then. So they used to just call me a stud. But for me, no, I was a boy.
When did you, like, fully know, or, like, you said, like, a lot of, like, the masculine mannerisms that you had growing up, like, kind of made you know. But I had a question from the Kueen Talk. Like, people can ask questions. So if you have a question, go ahead. The link below, ask a question. But this question was, what feelings occurred that made you feel like you were a trans man?
Number one, I don't like my boobs. I don't like the jiggle. I can't, like, it's when I move around and they just go wherever they go, I can't do it. The first time I ever saw a trans man, he had top surgery, and I wasn't sure what that was, you know, back then, like what trans was. And then when I saw that he had top surgery and his top surgery actually looked like really good, I was like, bet I want that. And then, like, I started figuring out more and more, like, what trans was. And I was like, oh, shit, that's me. Like I never ever felt like a girl. I never felt like a girl. Never. And in my mind, I was always the boy. I was always growing up to be a boy. And I would go to sleep and be like, damn, I wish I woke up with a penis. Damn, I wish I woke up and I didn't have these damn titties. Or like, can my voice just be deeper? Because before I transitioned, before I started testosterone, my voice was super high, super high. And for me being a big person, like my voice should have at least been a little bit deeper. I lost that battle.
I mean, you got a lot of facial hair though.
Yeah, I got more facial hair than my biological brother.
Dang, yeah. Like
he can't grow like me, so I got one up.
You said that you just you don't want these titties, and I feel that 100%. But I don't feel like I identify as trans though. So you had that conversation with your kid and he was 20. What was that conversation like with your family? Like that transition?
Okay, so a little bit backstory on that. So my family dynamic is me, my mom, my sister, and my brother. My father was never in the picture for me. When I was younger, he was incarcerated for a long time. And the one time I met him, I was 13, pregnant, and he was on his deathbed. He couldn't really talk, so I have no clue what his voice sounds like, which I'm okay with because he wasn't there for me. Like, he wasn't my dad. He was just somebody who donated sperm to make me, you know? He was a sperm donor, basically. So with my dad, I can just call him my father, but actually I'll just call him David because that's his name. But with David, like I knew he was a bad guy. As far as I know, he was incarcerated for murder and molestation. So I never wanted to have that relationship with him. I didn't really miss out on like the whole dad aspect of life. I had uncles who were amazing. I had, still have, cousins, and like I had a lot of father figures in my life. My grandfather, I was born on his birthday, and I always inspired to be like him. He was a Rolling Stone sometimes, but he was a good man. Like
sounds like Iroxdapanties.
Doesn't he though? Yeah. So like literally though, I do have a high body count, but that's another question for maybe another day. After I met David, it just life kind of made sense for me a little bit more because like I knew that he was a bad guy and I didn't want to be like that. So I kind of like went to a different form of me. So when I told my mom that I was transitioning, she was like, so what does that mean? And I'm like, well, I never really felt like a girl. I never really had feminine qualities about me. I never felt girly. Like you always wanted to push on me the girl stuff, and I always rebelled against it. And this is why, like, I now fully understand why, because it's me. Like, this is me. And when I told my sister, that was a whole mess and a half. I love my sister to death, and I will do anything for her forever till the day I die or till I can't anymore. But that conversation was kind of hard because she looks at me as like her baby because she helped raise me. She was there when my mom wasn't there, and she basically took care of me. She's very religious, and her religion doesn't acknowledge the queer community. So she's Jehovah's Witness, and they don't. Right. So to her, I'm still the old me. I just have a beard now. She still calls me by my given name, dead name. She still calls me her little sister, which it kind of hurts, but I understand. Like, I understand her thought process of where it's coming from because of the relationship that we had growing up. Like, I'm her baby, basically. We're almost 10 years apart, so being a 10-year-old and having a little sister, at the time, and raising your little sister and, being a part of that aspect, like, to her, I'm nothing more than just her little sister, her baby. So that was it still is a little testy because sometimes I want her to just call me Avery. I want her to...
Because that's who you are.
Because that's who I am.
Right.
Like, I want her to acknowledge that I am her brother.
Right.
But at the same time, I don't want to fight her on it. I know that I can handle it, like now, with her. But if it was anybody else, we would have been scrapping. But with her, I guess it's like a pass. I give her a pass on it. And I don't want to go against the grain. Number one, she's got stage 4 leukemia and liver cancer.
I think that's probably a big reason why. Then, because I was gonna ask like, what makes her get a pass?
Yeah.
Because that's understandable.
Yeah.
Like,
so, and I don't want to like, whatever time I have left on the earth with her, I don't want our relationship to be tanked or not on talking terms, But
right now I get you because in my head I'm thinking why, but okay, that makes sense. So does your mother like give you that?
She calls me Avery.
Okay.
Sometimes she does slip up, but I have to correct her. I'll correct. Everybody else I'll correct, and just be like, well, my name is Avery now. Like, this is who I am now. Please go with it, But if it's like a continuous thing, then I'll just get meaner with it. Like, do you want me to start calling you a different name?
Do you have to get to those points with your family?
A few times I did with my mom.
Okay.
But now she's like kind of understanding it and seeing like she's done a lot of research to.
Okay.
Yeah, like she's one of those.
She's doing her own research. That's good.
Yeah, she's doing the research to get to the point of understanding why it is the way it is, and
that's big. Let's big. Let's give some credit.
I'll give you the props on that one. I love you for that.
For someone who is searching for it, trying to understand it. In the past, we've talked about with some of my guests just giving our parents or our family that grieving process of something that they grew up like your mom. This happened 3 years ago for your mom. So like. When you're 37, let me do the math, 36, 33 years old. So like for 33 of like that makes sense so it's a whole grieving process. So for her to like research and try to get that understanding like that, that's a good thing.
She says her only fear with me transitioning is like if I go into the bathroom and somebody sees that I'm squatting to piss or sitting to piss, how do they feel about it? And I just simply told her, like, if anybody asks me why I sit to piss, I'm just going to say, honestly and factually, it's better for you to sit to piss because it helps you not get prostate cancer.
Is that true?
It's so true. It's so true. So when guys are like growing up, and their parents are teaching them how to go use the bathroom and they try to tell them to stand up, honestly, it's better to have them sit as long as they possibly can to pee, even into adulthood, because it lessens your chances of getting prostate cancer. Because where did you find this fact from? Where did you find this from?
Give your resources.
I can't give you the exact website, but if you Google it, you'll find it. Like, because the pee gets stuck in your urethra, and that toxins like it hits your prostate. But if you sit to pee, you get a straighter line to get it out.
Yeah, you're gonna have this whole conversation in the bathroom when you say this. Yeah, it's easier. It's better if you sit to pee, and then this is gonna be the whole conversation.
Yep. Look, if you want less prostate cancer chances, then you have to sit to pee, and you have to push up on the tank just a little bit to get the rest of the pee out of there.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
So did your mom was like, okay, after you told her that?
Yeah. I told her, I was like, that's all I gotta say, because like honestly, like if men knew more so that if you just sat to pee is better, it lessens your chances of getting prostate cancer.
I've always wanted to stand to pee though. I was always
it's a freeing kind of thing.
My two best friends, they got me what was called the Shiwi. And I lost it, but I used it for a while, and I loved it. Like it was very nice. That was a nice gift for my friends. Like their intentions were probably like because they think I'm a boy more than I'm a female.
Yeah.
I really did enjoy that kid
It
while it
feels
lasted.
freeing. It's so freeing when you finally stand to pee. And I think that the reason why I liked the Shiwi, like, because it was the first STP that I ever bought. And
STP.
Stand to pee.
Okay.
So there's like in the whole like in the trans male world, there's a lot of things that people need to feel affirmed to affirm their transition, like Packers, STP devices, binders.
Okay, the Packers are to show that you have a package.
Yeah,
and
I didn't wear mine today, but I was thinking about it, but I didn't wear it today.
And then the binders are to hold the chest,
yeah.
And then the STP you just had to
stand to pee. Yeah.
I for one, I'm learning a lot of this stuff, and I know like a lot of my audience, like the acronyms, we need to know what it is because like that's also why this is Kueen Talk. Like I'm learning too, like a lot of this stuff to educate myself, and so that's what this is all about. But when you have those things that are from you, like that's why you get those.
Yeah, it's like so like freeing and like in your mind it's like your brain connects it to like, oh, this is what it's supposed to be like. So when you first do it the first time, it's like, well, damn, like that was like one of the best feelings I could ever have, you know? So the Shiwi was the first STP that I bought, and I thought it was like dope until I started getting a rash. And I was like, this ain't normal. Like, this ain't never, what the heck? But I'm allergic to a lot of stuff, and I didn't know that I was allergic to stuff. So when I had the Shiwi, and I thought, silicone is fine, I could use it, whatever. No, I cannot. I have a Packer, or well, it's a 3-in-1. It's a Packer STP and Play. So you can use it to pack with, you can use it to pee with, and you can use it for sex. Okay. So I got one of those, thinking again, oh, this is gonna be nice, high quality stuff that they use. It ain't gonna give me a rash. A weekend I had another rash and was like, this ain't for me.
Yeah. Dang. I didn't even know that was a thing, a 3-in-1. Like,
yeah, but yeah, I can't use it because I'm allergic to it. So then I started going with just Packers, and still going to the bathroom and sitting to pee because it is what it is. But
because it helps prostate cancer.
It does. It helps prostate cancer. It helps you not get it. And if you push up on the tank to release the rest of the pee, you should be good.
Oh my gosh. Man.
But so I just went with Packers. So I got the Mr. Limpy. I got a few other things. One of them I got off of... actually, hold on. Before I go with that, one of the STPs that I got off of Amazon was just booty, straight booty. It was like a cup like this and the PP, and you're supposed to pee into the cup. But some of us have like heavy flows when we pee. So when I tried to use it for the first time, it was like in the cup and it wouldn't go through the hole. And
so you gotta dump it?
That's how I was like, I didn't really have the chance to dump it because luckily for me, I didn't have my pants on when I used it. So all I did was I started peeing, noticing that it was coming out into my hand, and I was like, oh shit. So I like went over the toilet. So I'm like standing over my toilet like, oh, okay, well that doesn't work.
Oh,
trash.
Waste of money.
Literally. It was like $12 and I should have known.
Yeah.
$12 ain't shit.
Right. Get what you pay for.
That part.
You
but
get what you pay for.
Yeah, so for the Packers, like I found one of my favorite Packers is just a little, it was like $12 on Amazon, but this one, for whatever reason, it withstands the test of time. Like it keeps going. It don't quit. It hasn't torn. It hasn't. I think it's from Cal Exotics. I think that's what it's from. But it hasn't torn. It hasn't done anything. it doesn't shift too much, and
I might become an Amazon affiliate.
Let's go. Let's get you that sponsorship from Amazon.
Right.
Y'all see this? She needs the sponsorship so she can bring the products to us.
Yeah, use the code below.
Use this code. Yeah, 10% off. There's no code right now, but there could be someday in the future.
Right. Hey.
But yeah, with Packers and stuff, I felt when I first started packing, I did the obvious trans man thing and started using socks. Well, it was too bulky, and it when you go use the bathroom and you pull down, your sock falls off and rolls into the next stall. You're just like, ow,
Oops, where did that come from?
Hey, can I have my socks back? I don't need the toilet paper. Just give me my socks back. But so I tried that. It didn't work, and then I found the Cal Exotics one, and all I do is just stick it between my underwear, like a little fly, in my boxers, and it just sits there, and it's good. And when I first saw my bulge, and it was an experience that I share with my my drag twin. His name is Nova. He's literally one of the best people that I've ever met in Kansas. But when I bought mine, and I told him I wanted a bigger one because they had a couple different sizes, and I chose the small one, thinking that I was a small man. I'm not a small man. I'm more wow. Wow. You see the big bulge. I give off BDE. But so I told him I was getting ready to buy this, and I was he just started his transition process, and he was yeah, we'll do it. So I ordered it. I was coming to see him, so the day that I got mine, he got his. So I drove out to Lawrence to go and see him, and he got knock on the door, here's your package, and he went and he put it in, and he was damn, you have no clue the amount of gender euphoria that I'm going through right now. And I was bro, me too. We in this together. We here. You go through yours, I'm going through mine. But when we come together, it makes it feel better. We're not anxious about stuff. So to this day, he still wears that damn Packer. That's my twin.
Yeah, but you mentioned something within that though. It's just that connection with someone who is also a black trans man.
That connection goes so deep. That connection is when you have a friend that is not just a friend for you, they're literally your sibling. Novocaine is literally my brother.
Yeah.
I look at him as another half of me that if I didn't have, I wouldn't know how to feel. With him, when we talk and we connect, and when we come together, it's a whole it's a thing.
But no, I feel that representation that gives for you, just between. When is the first time that you got representation for yourself?
Shit, and I can't even pinpoint it. I mean, before I knew trans women. I knew a few trans men. I didn't know any black trans men. And then...
How old were you during this time? When you realized what a trans woman was or what trans was, how old were you?
Probably I can honestly say the first person I ever knew was trans was Alexis Arquette. And that was years ago. I want to say back in the 90s, maybe early 2000s. That was the first introduction to a trans person on TV.
Okay.
I didn't know any in personal life until I got to going to gay clubs.
Okay.
So I didn't really start going to gay clubs until I was in my mid-20s. And it was only once or twice. And then when I moved here to Kansas, that whole world just opened up to me. And then the first black drag king that I saw was Sexual Chocolate. And then after Sexual Chocolate, it was Novocaine. And when I first met Nova, it was bro. And then we started actually getting to know each other a little bit more and a little deeper. They're literally twins. And when he came out and was like dancing. I was like, who this man? Like,
so you didn't know, like it took you to come to Kansas to see transgender?
Yeah, black trans man.
Black trans man.
Yep.
You came to Kansas to see
Kansas.
that after you've been in California,
yeah,
Arizona, and Texas. It was in Kansas.
In Kansas.
And that is because, like, that's when you started going to the clubs more.
Okay, yeah. Boomerang was the first.
So if you would have went to the clubs,
I probably
you definitely would have seen.
But see, I was a good kid back then.
We can still be good kids, and
I am now. Like, I'm still a good kid, but definitely with a little devious side.
Yes, but how old were you when you moved? It was just 10 years ago, not even 10. So like 27, 28 is when you first were able to see a black trans person.
Yeah.
And obviously you guys connected.
Well, at the time, like, we didn't know that we both were trans.
Yeah. Who was that? So you see Nova, who wasn't even a trans
man yet.
Yeah, right.
Then when we started like performing more together, and then I came out as trans, so I still didn't have that representation. Then when Nova came out as trans, that's when it like just all started clicking.
So technically, you just seen a male illusionist for the first time, and you were like, "Oh, that I could do that. Like that's me." Like, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, but when was the first time then you seen a trans? Because let's clear it, like that doesn't mean that people are trans in that community.
Yeah. So the first time that I think it was Shire Page. He's out of OKC, and I just remember seeing him like at a couple of the drag shows with the queens, and me seeing him and was like, huh. So we do exist. Like,
we exist.
We are a thing. Okay, I can get with that. And then after him, it was just like me, like basically Googling and searching like black trans men and looking on Google for like black trans men top surgery and stuff like that. Yeah. And then I just when I see the trans, the whole they're gone. You could do that. All right, bet. Sign me up.
Sign you up. So being in those spaces, when you got here at 27 to now, like you that community that you're talking about that you found here is the queer community, right?
Yeah.
How has that been for you being a black trans man in queer spaces here in Kansas?
It's actually been wonderful for me. And I can honestly say it's been so much affirming for me, because when I figured out that I was trans, and I didn't for a long time I didn't tell anybody, because like I didn't know how people would react to it. But then I started going to clubs, and when you meet Adina Ronay, it's like mind blowing. She's a beautiful black trans woman who also does drag. And when I first met her, and it was like right at the tip of me like being okay with it myself before I like started telling anybody, and she was like, who this man? And like her saying like who this man to me, and my little boy heart was like, oh my gosh. Like I was so happy. And she was just saying it because in the drag world, most of the time when you're in drag, you call them by the pronouns that they present. Okay. So if you see a drag queen, it's she, her. If you see a drag king, it's he, him. If you see a drag entertainer who is alternative, or they choose not to have like pronouns like he, him, she, her, it's they, them. So for Adina, and she saw me and she knew like right away, she was like, who this man? I was like, oh, it's me. It's me. I'm him. Hey, girl. So I was just like, I went with it. Yeah. And then I started doing drag more heavily, and like it started to become more comfortable to be in drag than it was to be out of drag, because I worked in a school at the time, so I couldn't really like be myself outside of drag. So when I went to school, when I went to work in the school, it was like put it away, tuck it away, like hide it. I'm around a bunch of white people, no offense, but out here in Kansas, like I can't be me. I can't be the black queer man that I am.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like waiting for Thursday nights to come around when I could just be in drag and just be out there happy and be authentically me for like those 2 sets or 3 sets if I got them, you know? So when the whole queer community like started embracing me, was literally the day that I put on my Facebook like, hey, so I am starting my transition. Like I don't want to be suicidal anymore. I don't want to be like unhappy. I want to be me. I don't want to be a lie, or I don't want to lie to the community and not be my authentic self.
Mm-hmm.
So that day, literally everyone in the community that I came into contact with after I put that post out, starting that day, was like he, him. And it was so like beautiful for me because like coming from where I came from, you know, in the family that I lived, I never thought that that day would be possible.
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody else just became my family and everybody else was accepting. And it was like, just, it was great for me. I know not everybody has that experience and I got kind of spoiled with it, but I was like, damn, like this is dope. Like y'all don't even know.
Yeah.
Because like I literally went from being depressed and being so sad and just hurt that I couldn't be me.
Mm-hmm.
And the strongest thing was that first day when Adina was like, who this man?
Yeah.
And I was just like, ugh, like it just hit me in the heart. And I felt just joy. And black man joy is a thing.
Yeah.
It needs to happen more.
Right.
We need to like big up the black community, the black men, and that like that shit felt great. It was it was just that.
Yeah, so that was the affirmation and just like hearing that was good for you. What you said, were you like young at 20? Were you 27 or like when you first identified, or was this like 3 years ago?
No, when I very first identified as to myself was, like I said, shortly after having my kid and realizing like as I'm growing up, I'm a man, like I'm a boy.
Okay.
But then like hiding it and pushing it down, it kind of it does something to your mind where it's like you start losing the will to live every day that you have to hide yourself.
Right, yeah.
So I literally got like so suicidal, and to the point where I took a handful of pills, but thankfully my body just threw it back up. And I didn't want to feel like that anymore. So when I came here and started coming to Boomerang, and then it was XY, I didn't get a chance to go to Fantasy during the glory days, but going through those clubs and just like seeing the community and being embraced by that community, it kind of like took that suicidal piece out of me. And when I finally did come out to myself, before I came out to everybody else, it was like a freeing situation.
Right.
And like even back then, like Adina didn't know that I was trans, but like when she said that and she was like, "Who this man?" and I was like, "Girl, don't play with me." Yeah. Like how you know, but yes, you know.
Yeah, and like I'm glad you're here with us today, because that's not talked about enough.
It's not.
Is the suicidal thoughts like a lot of these kids are having just because of adults not wanting to take the time to understand and do the research, and it's needed for these kids to be okay with themselves.
Yep.
So I'm glad that you got that reassurance and affirmations here when you needed it the most.
Exactly, because I really don't think that I could have made it this far. I really don't. And it's not that I didn't want to like live around other people at that time. It was that I couldn't live with myself and lying to myself constantly.
Right.
And or like even pushing it down and trying to hide it and say, no, I can't do this. I can't do this. And then going to actually like taking the handful of pills and my body just throwing it up like, no, we're good. Like we'll make it through. And to that small bit of affirming to now. Like, it was a whole ass journey.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, I'm glad you're here with us today, because it would be a lot to hold that in. Like, you've been knowing this since you're 13 years old, and not being able to express it.
Yeah.
And I feel like the trans community, like, just now within like the last 10 years, for me personally, like, has been more known, and like hearing more about it. That could be TikTok too, like, just like with social media, like that's helped out.
Why they want to ban it.
Yeah. Like, it's helped out a lot with like learning people and getting to understand. So it's coming out. It's needed. More education needs to be had, like I said, around the topic, so more people can understand what it is. And I like, you're a little older, so like that wasn't really talked about.
It really wasn't. Growing up in like the 90s and the 2000s, like, it was taboo as hell to be gay. My first kiss was in high school with a girl, and shout out to her. Sorry, I'm a man now. I know you didn't know. My bad. My first kiss was with a girl, and we were like standing in the back by I think it was like PE. It was on the outside of like PE, but like, so the PE building was like here, and then there was like some other like just classroom buildings, and we were in the back, and I kissed her, she kissed me, and then all of a sudden we hear, "Oh my God, did those two girls just kiss?" And in my mind, I'm like, "Yeah, bitch, San, so what?" But then, like, after that, everybody was like, "Ooh, like, oh, he's gay, or she's gay. Oh, like, this whole thing." And then I joined the basketball team, and everybody was gay, and I was like, "Bitch, bet."
The basketball team to do it for you.
It'll do it for you, man. But honestly, not everybody on basketball teams are gay. Just so you know, it's okay to put your straight kid in the basketball team. It's all right.
Yeah, you got to give that disclaimer. Gosh, that's funny.
But yeah, I think the best part though about, like, for me, the best part about being trans is the joy, the happiness. Like, I get to like be me, and not a lot of people can say that they actually get to be them.
Yeah.
Because some people in this world want to suppress your creativeness or your authenticity. I can't talk. I think I said that right, but they want to suppress it and like not let you just be you. But I'm queer unapologetically. Like,
that's good.
I don't care anymore, you know?
That is good that you've reached that point.
Yeah.
And like this, you've just started T. You're on 3 years now.
Almost 4, yeah.
4 years. How has that been like for you? Like, the facial, like, you got a lot of
it's
facial.
It's deep, man. I got more facial hair than my brother. I mean, I got one up on you. It's okay. Yeah.
We talked about your sister. How was your brother?
Oh yeah, we never did talk about him. So me and my brother don't really have a relationship. It was some things that happened when I was a kid, but I never really forgave him. But I think, like, going a little deeper, like, I need to forgive him for me, not for him. Because honestly, fuck his feelings, but for me to move on and, you know, be okay, I need to forgive him. But for him, my mom told him that I was transitioning, and her words of what he said was, I mean, I guess if he wants to be who he wants to be, then that's fine. There's nothing bad about it, you know, just be who you want to be.
Yeah.
And for me to have heard that, knowing the situation and stuff that I went through as a kid, and for him to say that, like, thank you, but also fuck you, but thank you, you know?
Yeah.
But it wasn't like him like, oh man, no, like, that's my little sister and she's got to stay my little sister. It was literally like, if he wants to be who he wants to be, then that's fine.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. I wanted to talk about your son just a little bit more, just like how that relationship changed. Like, what you told your son, he was 20, this is who I am, so I feel more comfortable. What changed with that relationship with your son? Like,
so he literally was just like, I just want you to be happy because I don't want to live life without you. And like, I had that conversation about being suicidal with him and, like reassuring him that it had nothing to do with him. It was just, I couldn't live with myself. So, and I had that conversation with him and he was just like, I understand. I was just like, I would appreciate it if if you're okay with it, but if you're not, like, it's okay too. Like, you can tell me. And he was like, no, honestly, I just want you to be happy. Whether you're my mom or my dad, I just want you to be happy. So from that day forward of us having that conversation, he just started calling me Padre. So
Padre?
Yeah, Padre. He in his phone it used to be Mama Bear because I was big and like fierce, and now it's Papa Bear / Padre. So
Did you feel like anything shifted or changed it, or do you feel like it naturally stayed the same? Or
I think it got stronger. I think our relationship got stronger
yeah.
Because now, like, even though he understands the loss of his mother, he also understands that he gained a father and a more present father and a more loving father, and someone who literally will put them before the world. Like, I put him before everything else. Like, if he's not happy, then I'm not happy, basically.
Yeah.
And he understands that, and I think we got tighter. Like, we became homies. Like, I guess you could say. Like,
yeah.
He's literally my best friend, and I don't think that anything like became negative between us. It just got more intense, like more in depth. Like, we talk about girls, we talk about
So did you do that beforehand though? Because
we did somewhat, but in his mind, like, I was his mom, and it's like, you don't tell your mom shit,
Okay, so but now you get that more. Okay.
Like, now it's like, oh, you're my dad. Like, I could talk to you about anything. Like,
have that relationship with him though, where now it's like you can just
we could talk.
Yeah, shoot the shit now.
Yeah, it's not like a mother-son dynamic where it's like you don't tell me anything. Now it's like, Dad, I got to tell you something. Like, I need help with this. Or thankfully, he hasn't had to have the conversation of getting a girl pregnant. But he said literally that he's not going to have any kids until he's financially stable and, can provide for them. And I'm like, bro, like, that's dope.
That's a good mindset to have. Gotta have the money.
I taught you well.
They're expensive.
Learn from my mistake.
Expensive. Now, you say you couldn't really be yourself when you worked here before. Now that you transitioned, how do you feel like workplaces have been?
It's better. Like, so when I started my transition, I was working at the school, and the first thing that they did for the gender affirming aspect of it, the first thing that they did was change my nameplate on the outside of my door to Mr. Holland.
Oh,
so like, I didn't know that they were doing that. And
that's dope.
Yeah, when I walked into the building, and we all had meetings and everything. It's like the first couple of days of meetings before school starts, before the kids get there. So all the staff will go and have like this welcome back kind of ceremony stuff, and we talk about the year ahead. Well, I walk into the building, and I can't say office, my room, because I was in school suspension, but my room is the first room you see when you walk through the doors. It's my room, and then the nurse's office, and all that stuff. So I walk into the building, and I glanced at it for like half a second, didn't realize what it said, and then I looked at it again and immediately started bawling. Like, immediately, like, I was like, ooh, and it wasn't even like a normal just a kind of cry. It was like, they do like me here. God damn. It was like immediate, like all the emotions, like professionally. I didn't think that professionally the affirmation or the affirming like aspect, I never thought that would like feel so good.
Yeah.
But it was like, and I had to walk in my room, and I was late to the meeting. I was in there like, you know, like you got hit with something, and you couldn't cry for a second.
Yeah.
You're like, but that felt so good, and like all the staff adjusted their pronouns for me, and he, him, and one coworker kind of messed up, and another coworker was like he, and I was like, damn right, like thank you. Yeah, you get it right. But no, they were like just making sure that everyone knew that it was he, him.
Yeah.
And me being like a big personality, like I don't know if you could tell, but I'm like a social fucking butterfly. And not unless I'm at home, then don't bother me. But me being the social butterfly that I am, and like actually going out and like talking with everybody in the school, like all the staff, and everybody was like, yeah, he's amazing, like he's great with the school kids, and he's like doing all this, and I'm like, yeah, I am. Like yes.
Yeah, just changing just that, just like how that affected you, and just like how much that helped you, like that just goes to show, just like if you just use the proper pronouns for people.
Just one simple thing. It's not about your comfortability. It's about theirs. Because your comfortability is who you are, your gender identity, and your sexual identity. Like, that's you. But when it comes to somebody else, it doesn't kill you at all to ever just use their proper pronouns. It doesn't make your day horrible to just use somebody's proper pronouns. Like, even if you don't understand it, if it's not fathomable in your mind, it doesn't matter. You can understand it later, but right now in this instance, like, just help a brother out, you know, or help a sister out. Use he, him, or she, her pronouns when they ask for it, or they, them when they ask for it, or daddy may have another.
Yeah, no, but like, yeah, it just goes to show, just like that simple gesture goes a long way.
A long way.
And it's so simple. And the person that corrected the other person, it just made me think, like, what does, like, that's a good ally in my eyes. What's another example of just like being a good ally for you? Like,
literally just like in closed spaces when you're not with that person, when like my friends, when they're not with me, they'll correct people, which lets me know that they are an ally. Like, they have my back on things. Mm-hmm. So if I'm not with someone and we're having a conversation about them, I'm like, use their pronouns. Like, even though we're not near them, like, it's okay to use their pronouns. Yeah. You know, you don't have to just be like, if they're a trans woman, he now, you know, wants to be called. No, it's she, first off. Second off, we don't do that kind of talking behind backs and, you know, stuff like that. If it's something negative, at least wait till they're in the room. But like, if it's something you're just having a conversation about, it's she. Yeah. Or it's he, or it's they or them. It's just in closed spaces when you're not with that person, stick up for them. That's a great ally. That's someone who we like. That's someone who we want to be around.
Yeah. That makes total sense. It's like, what you saying behind closed doors? Mm-hmm. Like, you're my friend in my face, but
exactly. Because I have a bunch of friends who are non-binary, and I'll use their pronouns, you know, no matter what aspect of the conversation that we're in, mm-hmm. even if it's in passing. Like, if somebody says, "Oh, have you seen such and such?" and I'm like, "Yeah, they were over there," or "Yeah, I just talked to them." Like, it's something that you just need to do. Yeah.
And when someone misgenders you, like how do you react to that? Like, if someone, like we said earlier with your family, who knows, but like what is your personal experience like that you?
So this actually just happened to me like a couple of days ago. So I got stuck in the mud, and I had to make a call. And apparently on the phone, my voice doesn't sound very manly. So the guy sent somebody to come pull me out of the mud. And they were doing all this stuff. And as I'm walking away, like, thankfully he pulled me out of the mud. But as I'm walking away, I hear him go, "Yeah, my son said there was a woman stuck in the mud. That don't look like no woman." I was like, "Damn right." But he said it in the most countryest tone, and I was just like, "Geez." And I'm like, "Well, that misgendering. Like, I know now that I got to work on my voice in the phone, but like, real life like people standing next to each other, a couple of my friends, like, they're still getting used to it, I guess 3 years later, but and it's not like I'm just gonna be like, do it now, I'm not that mean person. I'll just remind you, like, hey, like, my name is Avery now, or my pronouns are he him, like, I'm not gonna be like, you do it now or else, or choking you like, my name is, I'm not like that. I'll just be like, hey, Avery. Oh, dang, I'm so sorry. It's all right. Just, try to remember for next time. Kind of thing. I guess I'm not a mean person.
No, I don't. Maybe because it doesn't. I'm not a mean person. I get misgendered all the time. Yeah. Like when I'm
you're
on the
black queer person, they always think that you're something different.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, but like even on the phones, like I don't feel like I have that manly of a voice, but they it's always sir. If I'm ordering through the drive-through, sir, I just politely say ma'am, and then move along. My friends will be like, well, why do you have to correct them? Because that's not me. Like,
exactly.
you wanted to be bold enough to assume what it is. I'm gonna tell you what it ain't. Like, this is what it is. But I just play safe, and then they're like, oh my bad, yeah. Yeah, and inside I'm like laughing, like, yeah, you feel awkward as hell. Awkward. I'm just like, I had someone the other day. I was at Kohl's sitting there waiting on my partner. She's in the dressing room, and the lady obviously went away. And then this new lady appeared. She was like, "Oh my God, where were you? I literally was just right here." And she was like, "Sir, wasn't I just right here?" And I knew she was talking to me, but I was on my phone. I didn't even look up because I was like, "You're not." I was like, I was like, "You're not talking to me. I'm not no sir." And then I heard her talk. And then she was like, "Oh, that's not a sir." Like I heard it. I was like, I didn't answer her though, but I was like, "Yeah, that's not me." Like,
yeah. No. Okay. So before I transitioned, I used to always answer to sir for whatever. I know the reason why, but I would answer to sir, and then when I would talk, because I had such a high voice, they'd be like, "Oh, ma'am," and I'm like, "You're all right. It happens." Like, back then I didn't correct people, but now I'm just like, I'm not mean with it, but I'm just like, it's sir. It's like, sir, he, him, now, but back in the day, like, I guess I didn't, because I didn't want to, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Be like aware or conscious of it, I didn't want, back then I wanted to hide it.
So starting to suppress it.
Yeah, I was trying to suppress it, but now I'm just like, yeah. Or if they on the phone, like, oh my gosh, I get this one all the time. So I have to call my bank sometimes because they be locking my card for no fucking reason, and I'd be like, unlock my shit. Needs my money. like what are y'all doing? But every time I call, they're like, hello, and I'm like, hello. And then she's like, yes, ma'am, how may I help you? It's sir. On the phone, it's sir. Oh, I'm sorry, sir. I didn't realize. Well, my voice is deeper than yours. How do you expect me to act? Like, sir.
Yeah.
But, just, I don't know. I'm a cuddly teddy bear. And I don't want to, like, be mean to people and just be like, choking them and trying to get my pronouns right. But for other people, I will.
Yeah, I feel like your close circle, especially, should figure it out. Like, get it together.
Yeah.
What would you say to someone who may be in there as an adult, or just maybe just anybody right now that may be feeling like they want to transition, or they may be feeling like they are trans? What would you tell that person?
You know yourself better than anyone else, and you know whether or not you are having these thoughts or feelings, and if you are, explore them. Just explore them, because what is the worst that can happen when you explore your feelings? Like, if you feel like you're trans, explore it. Go to Goodwill, buy you a couple dresses if you're a trans woman. put on the dresses and see how you feel. If you're a trans man, go to Goodwill, buy you a suit, put it on, see how it feels. If it makes you feel joy and it's undeniable and you don't repress it, explore it, keep going. If you already know where you're at in your transition, if you've mentally transitioned to yourself, then socially transition. And if you get backlash and people don't want to acknowledge your transition, fuck them. You don't need them in your life, because people who love you and truly understand you and just want to see the best for you will tell you it's okay. Be who you want to be. Be who you know you are. Being trans isn't a bad thing. Being queer is not a bad thing. It's something that other people deem different. So when people see something so colorful and so bright and so happy, and they see it's different than what their monotone grays, black and whites are, they're gonna single that thing out and try to make it feel bad for being bright and colorful. But honey, you're a whole ass rainbow, and fuck it. Do what you want to do. Be who you want to be. Like,
yeah, I like that. And you saying like you don't need those people in your life. I feel like you are a good testimony to just like you have a found family now. Like you went out and you explored and you found a community that accepted you, and you were able to get to the point that you are right now. To the point of transitioning and
without them, I don't think I would be here. Like, I got some really good friends who have just held me down since day one and understood. And even when it came to, because at first I wasn't going to change my dead name, because my dead name itself was gender neutral. It was a either or name, and I wasn't going to change it. But then when I thought about it more and started feeling like, but this is still tied to the old me. It still feels like you're acknowledging the old person that I was. And I was like, well, let me just find something that I actually do like, and that it feels good to me when I hear it. And that's when I found the name Avery. And I was like, I like it a lot. It fits me, you know. It's cool. It makes me sound like a hoe, but I'm okay with it. Like,
how does that name?
So, Suge Avery, number one.
Okay.
Y'all know who Suge Avery is, and if you don't, you too young for me. And then Jackson Avery from Grey's Anatomy.
I'm not a Grey's Anatomy.
What?
Oh no, I didn't get into that.
Oh no. Okay, we're gonna have to have a Grey's night.
Is there anything else that you want to leave the audience with today? Any final thoughts?
Final thought wise, I just want to say, like, love your neighbor, love the people you're around, treat your friends and your family how you want to be treated. It's okay to use the correct pronouns. It is okay to help someone feel gender affirmed, or it's okay to help someone else. You know, like, your words hurt, and when somebody's asking you for one simple thing, just call me by my correct pronouns, like how I feel.
No,
it's not gonna kill you to do it, and it's not
right.
Like, I always tell people who are in the religious aspect mindset of it, like, well, my God says this and my God says that. Well, your God also says to love your neighbor and treat them with respect. And this is not treating someone with respect, you know? And it doesn't say that when you go to wherever you go after you pass on, that they're going to ask you about me and my life and what I did. What they're going to do is ask you about your life and how you treated people and how you reacted to, you know, people's lives and your reactions. And it ain't going to have nothing to do with me. So when you get there, just make sure your conscience is clear, because mine is.
Yeah. You said it right. You said it right. It is all about yourself and just how you treat people, and focus on yourself.
Focus on yourself. Stay out of other people's business. Stay out of their business. But yeah, no. I really just, I think if I had one message just to send to people, is just treat people how you want to be treated. You want respect. You want your rights. So do we.
Mm-hmm.
Treat us how we want to be treated. Treat us the best way you can, because again, it ain't gonna come down to what I did in my life for your answers. It's gonna come down to what you did.
Yeah, I like that. Well, Avery, I appreciate you joining me today on this podcast. You are the first Black trans man that I've had on this podcast, and I feel like you gave us a lot of information, and just having a child during the process and what you gone through, and just how your relationship with your child got stronger. Your family, how they're learning, trying to understand you.
The fact that my mom's actually doing the research, that's big.
Yeah. So I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to join us, and so thank you for.
No problem. Oh, one more thought before we go. It's okay for men to sit to pee, and if you push up on the tank just a little bit, it helps prevent prostate cancer. Don't forget that.
Yes. Do you have any shows coming up? It's about to be Pride Month coming. I feel like what you got going on?
So there's a few things in works that I can talk about, and a few things in works that I can't talk about. So pageant season is coming up, and that's all I'm gonna say on that aspect of it. But as far as like shows and stuff, I got like plenty of shows at XY. If you go first Sunday of the month, it's Dynasty shows. It's always a blast. It's very open and loving, and just go there with a clear head and probably some 1s or 10s, 20s, 50s, whatever you want to tip us with, we'll take it. But go there and have fun. Like, it's just a whole blast. It's like a whole different atmosphere. So I'll be doing lots of shows there at XY. I do have a couple pageants coming up. Pageant season is in the works, so look for me at a couple of those pageants. Yeah, I ain't telling you exactly which ones, because I don't want y'all to be like, but I'm telling you, look out for me at some pageants.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You'll have to get back with me on the dates on...
yeah, I can tell you a couple just right now. So every first Sunday is Dynasty show. And I know a pageant coming up is Mr. Gay Wichita. There's Mr. Wichita Pride. I'm not exactly sure on the Wichita Pride one, but I know the date for Mr. Gay Wichita is May 26th. So if you happen to see this before then, like, just show up and come out. Oh, and my birthday is in less than a week, so I'm a May baby. Taurus Cinco de Mayo is my birthday. If y'all want to get me something, my Cash App.
So this will air after your birthday.
After my birthday? That's
birthday.
Okay, because after birthday drinks is still cool.
Make sure you still send them some Cash App.
Yeah, my Cash App is in my link on my Instagram. Iroxdapanties the morning.
Iroxdapanties. 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 I feel like you need to have like a
own theme song.
Yeah,
let's put it together. We should put it together. Yes. We should do that.
Well, thank you guys for joining us, tuning in to another episode of Kueen Talk. Hopefully you guys had loved it. You learned something. Please make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. Please leave a review if you're listening on Apple Music or Spotify, whatever you listening to it. And make sure if you're watching, you leave a comment, like it, all that good stuff. If you know anyone interested in being a guest on Kueen Talk, please make sure you have them fill out the form below. If you have questions, maybe you're scared to ask it in person. Maybe you're not scared, you just don't know who to ask. Please fill out the form as well. I will ask the questions for you. But as always, family, friends, strangers, love. Be nice.
Be nice.
Be nice. Iroxdapanties. Iroxdapanties.